Hi, good morning. It's Gene from Magnetometer Observatory. Guys, a little bit more positive today. A little bit later we're going to get into talking about what we're going to be doing over the next few months. I've got some good news with regards to our magnetometer. It has now arrived at Kendall's. Because of the times here in the UK with Canada, we're going to be linking up around about 4 o'clock UK time and just running through a few basic things with the magnetometer. As you guys know, they're not that hard to get your head round. It's pretty much one reset button, one SD card, and so long as it's got power and it is fixed, permanently down, it does what it's supposed to do. So the good thing about having it in Canada is that we get to watch real time every 15 minutes as the magnetometer records the field strength in that location, hopefully the depleting of that magnetic intensity over Canada. And guys, I've showed you the video a few times of it depleting very rapidly over that region over a space of about 8 or 9 years. So I am confident that within 6 months of running Kendall's magnetometer in Canada, we are going to see a reduction in the Tesla strength in that region as that time goes on. Now, we are an observatory, and I'm going to talk about a few things that we are going to have to do at some point here with the way we raise money. I don't like every video, mentioning that there's a link down there. It is becoming to the point now where people just completely ignore it. We only have a few people supporting the observatory on the Patreon, and we've got some that prefer to support it on PayPal. But we are getting voids now, and the voids are becoming more apparent. And what I'm talking about the voids is days where we don't even raise a single pound for the observatory. And for the level of effort that has gone into this observatory at this point, and if we was to have purchased the equipment that we've got right now and around the world, it would be in the tens if not hundreds of thousands of pounds. You cannot buy a Trimag system anywhere in this world. It is a bespoke piece of equipment that was designed over a period of 2 years, programmed by myself and built, and has done to this day, touch wood, an amazing job tracking the magnetic North Pole for us. Again, these muon detectors, well, we saw how much a neutron detector was, which was over a couple of £1,000 per unit. Well, these muon detectors detect a lot smaller elementary particles than neutrons, so you can imagine that you probably, if you was to be able to be in a position to buy these things, they'd be in the thousands each. We are building those for around about £200 sterling each. So we're saving a lot of money, just like we have on a lot of other things. But guys, I can't sit here and run this observatory and watch the voids increase. The days go by where we don't raise any money for the observatory because it's going to shut us down eventually, even though there is just myself here doing the majority of the work. And apart from me, we've got some superstars that are dedicating their time to collecting the data for us as well. So we have a lot of people that are putting an effort in. Our patrons, our one-off people that chip in some bucks on PayPal. But the last thing we want is it going backwards and slowing us completely down, especially as we are at a point in time where things are starting to go into an acceleration. What I mean by that is we are rapidly approaching that 40-degree mark where we are going to see the magnetic dipole moving to those strong field lines, moving to the weak field lines, and we should get rapid movement at that point in time. We are seeing at the same time, over in Canada, a diminishing of the intensity of the magnetic field in that region. And we can monitor that now. We've got Canada online shortly today. We can monitor that depletion over time, and we can make some forecasts with it. Remember, this is the only observatory that is working on behalf solely as the public, but that is only because it has been funded by you guys to this point. It would be ludicrous, even despite all what's going on with the global pandemic, if we just allowed it to fail at this point and stop what would have been the point in the drive and effort that we've put into now, getting it to this point, in order for it to just fail towards the end of the line, end of the finish line. Why would we want to do that? So it's important, guys, and I know it's tedious, but you know, we have to keep supporting the observatory with a little bit of cash flow coming in, and you know, that can only come from one specific group of people, and that's you guys. We've got other problems, I will say. We are suffering at the moment from YouTube. I'm sure that they are slowing the traffic down and making it more difficult for the subscribers to get to see the videos that we are putting up. There is some censorship going on, and you know, we haven't seen an increase in subscribers for nearly 2 months. I've not said nothing about this because I fear that if I do mention it, you know, that foot on the back of our neck will be pressed even harder by them. You know, they do not like small operations like the Maverickstar Observatory coming out and telling people ahead of advance, you know, that there is big changes taking place. What they want is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, you know, like companies like that have produced this map, NOAA, telling people what they feel. And I've got a big problem with that, guys, because look at where they have placed the magnetic north dipole on this map. It's very misleading. You know, it is clearly, if we was looking at a normal map, not where it is located at the top right hand corner of this screen right now. If you follow up from England and to the right, that is more along the place where it is. You know, we track it with the TriMag, and we give you the northerlies and you know, the northerly latitude and the longitude of the exact position to within about a mile, and that is extraordinarily accurate, guys. But when they put it in the top right hand corner of this map, and I know why they've done it is because of the way they've unravelled the spherical map of the Earth onto, you know, a flat platform, so you know, you can see these things, but where the dipole is actually in between the two intensities of Russia and Canada right now, and more towards Russia as that intensity increases over there. Guys, I am really going to start pushing now to make some big changes on the website, and you know, I'm going to ask you at the same time as me having to put more work on the table in order to do this. I'm going to ask you to step up to that mark now and start supporting this observatory. We can't go, you know, kicking our feet in the dust week in, week out anymore, as we are getting closer to a point where there is going to be a lot more activity. If you think coronavirus is bad right now, let me tell you something. There will be no avoiding, you know, the cosmic rays that will be inbound in our atmosphere. So it isn't like, you know, you have 50% chance or an 80% chance of not catching COVID. You are going to be in, you know, a region of this world where more cosmic radiation at some point in the near future is going to be on the increase. And you know, with the equipment that we've got now in Australia, Arizona, Canada, Hong Kong, soon I guarantee you guys, we will get one in Russia. It's only a matter of time, and we can monitor then the main regions of our Earth. We're still waiting, and it's a little bit frustrating because, you know, we've got the muon and we've got the magnetometer already waiting to go out to Brazil. That gives us the 4 key areas on this planet, as well as being able to track the movement and position of the migrating North Pole. Maybe at some point, you know, we will duplicate the TriMag system and have that sent down to perhaps Australia, so we can track and monitor the movement of the South Pole, because we don't do that with the TriMag. It just focuses on the magnetic North Pole, but we could easily adapt the system to monitor the South Pole in the exact same manner. So that's it, guys, in a nutshell. We have today our magnetometer coming online in Canada. We are still striving forward to get one into Brazil. Very shortly There will be some big changes on the website. We're going to have a page dedicated to global health, which will check things like what we collect, all the data on different things like atmospheric oxygen levels. You'll be able to go every week on there. I'll update it every week for you. You'll be able to see the atmospheric oxygen level, the CO2 readings, the muon counts, and we are efforting right now, and I'm in talks with a few people on how now to compile this information so that we can work out as best we can with the data that we've got, the actual intensity of the magnetosphere globally as a mean. So you take the readings from all the areas, you divide it between the amount of areas, and you end up with an average of total field strength. That was what we're efforting on, and that will also go on the global health data part of the website. So this information will change weekly. But I want to say something, guys. We have a ton of stuff already on the Poleshift News website, which is updated already every day, like the geomagnetic field, whether there's a geomagnetic storm at play, what the level of X-rays are, the KP index. You've got live photos, I believe, from Goddard, NASA, of the sun and the sunspots, as well as a lot of other data on other anomalies like precipitation. We've got satellite maps, temperature maps, you name it. We've got volcanic activity in eruptive state only, because I think that's the only thing. If you're going to have a benchmark, you look at eruptions, not activity. Earthquakes, Schumann resonance. We've got data from other magnetometers and other stations around the world. There's a lot of stuff on there, guys, that we've managed to build and compile for you as a one-stop shop for all these anomalies. If you really are interested in what is taking place in your world, then there is more than enough information at that one location on the internet for you. And of course, we do these regular updates and talk about what's changing with our Earth, on a weekly basis, with regards to the magnetosphere and the position of the poles. Remember, and don't take this for granted, guys, and don't become complacent with these videos that this is happening. This is a rare event, trust me, and it does have some severe consequences for our livelihoods down the road. So I'm just saying, we need to really stop these voids happening where we don't raise even a single dollar a day and get back on track with some decent funding for this observatory. Otherwise it is going to go to the wall, guys, or we've got to change our plans. And I'm going to do it because if it gets to that point, I will make the changes that need to happen so that we get a regular income for the channel. Simply because, it's not just me that has invested my personal money, my personal time in this, but there are people that have also invested their time and their personal money in this, and it's unfair, for them not to get something back in regards of information on the topic. So, I don't want to cross that line. I want to keep it there for everybody. But we cannot continue, guys, to have days where we don't even raise a single dollar. It's embarrassing, honestly. Come on, I need some help, and I'm asking you guys out there for that help. Last month was terrible. We tried to raise £4,000 for some decent equipment, and we didn't even raise a quarter of that. So, guys, I'm just saying, the links are down there and it needs to be supported. The only other thing is, guys, I'm doing another video later on, because I know some people are interested in star charts, what our history and our ancestors was up to back in the region of Egypt. We'll talk about a few other things in that video. It won't be directly related to this, but we don't know the exact accounts of what was going on in that period of time. And I will say this, it is for me very interesting, especially when you look at the levels they went to with the positioning of the pyramids, how they used star constellations, and how they knew about things like the central galactic line of our of our galaxy, and things like that. So if you're interested in popping along later on this afternoon to see that video, then please do. But main thing is, guys, is we've got to avoid these voids, and we've got to make sure that we keep the funding coming in for this observatory. it is important now more than ever. So I won't say another word other than the links are down there, and you have an amazing time, guys, today. Look after your loved ones, and I'll say what I usually do. Bye for now.